welcome back to the hottest marriage show in this room. It's I, John D. and AKA
Do
and Too Much Podcast. Rescripting the culture, one conversation at a time. Good morning, my love.
Resituating.
Resituated? What's wrong?
One comedian at a time. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. We're winding down. I think this will probably be the last episode of the year. And I wanted to ask, what is one thing I should be working on to help our relationship in the future? Like, what's something you like, you know what, he's been working on this, but he probably should work on this more. And I will say, I have made more of a mental effort to watch how I speak about things that I think I care about. You know, sometimes I can take over a conversation and maybe become like a know-it-all, or this is the only way.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that the last few times, like we've talked, just not just you and I, but as a family, like I'm more like, do I need to say anything? And I think I need to be more like that, because I think people are more likely to receive whatever I have to offer. But not only that, it reduces my audience feeling like the negative things I'm trying to stay away from. You know, like, here he goes, or no, you know, that's how John does it. You know, none of that makes me feel good.
Okay.
But I never took it as seriously as I did the other day when I realized that I was still doing things that wasn't probably the best practices in conversations.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want you to use that. If you were.
Hey. It was on the tip of my tongue. I would say, and this is unexpected, but it kind of it goes along with what you're saying. I would say, when it comes to you and I think you've been very intentional with, you know, us and how we do. But one part of our relationship that you wouldn't think that this would be my focus, but it really is that part, is you, and specifically you and your relationship with our kids. Like, you have a great relationship with them in regards to, like, they know that their dad is always there. They know that he's always going to go down for them. That goes without saying. They know that you love them. But I think that you have put such effort toward learning me and learning how to best communicate with me. I mean, every time it seems like we hit a wall, you like disappear and you come back and you're like, I figured it out. And whatever might have been our snag that was within your control in that moment, you change it. But I think that the kids deserve just as much of that, because your goal is to be the best father and the best husband. And I think that sometimes with children, we think that there's a lot more bending that the child should do. But I think that we're more knowledgeable in our experiences, where we are the ones who can best, like, not bend to their will, but as a teacher, you know that there's certain kids that learn one way versus another way. And you want to teach them the same skill, but you can't say it the same way to one kid that you can to the other. And I'm thinking about, so we went out of town. We went to celebrate Dallas's birthday. And on this trip, I learned a lot about our family and what we like and what we don't like when we go away. But one of the things I realized, and we talked about it a little bit with my friend while we were there, we were having a lot of discussion about family and, like, getting her up to date with us and the kids. And one of the things that really kept coming up to me is they are almost gone. Like, Dallas will be gone in a couple of years. Day is on her way out. And not to say that they're going to leave and not come back, but before they leave, I want them to have the dad that's going to lead them out, and they're going to be confident that if I'm not here, they can still come and get the lessons from you, and they don't need a translator. or the go-between. And I think that that's one of the things that we've talked about this a number of times, but not specifically for them. It's been like kind of like, well, you know what I mean, and then I'll be like, yeah, and then paraphrasing, going back and forth, and then it's like we understand where each other are coming from. But with them, this past weekend, I buried my grandmother. We already talked about this. I didn't have much of a relationship with her, so it really didn't get me as much as Saturday. We laid to rest one of my cousins who was probably one of the most sweetest people in the whole entire world I've ever had the pleasure of loving. And it's just her and her daughter. And she and her daughter were best friends. Like, wake up in the morning, go to sleep at night, best friends. And if I'm not, it made me think about my mortality because she's a young mom. She's not a young mom. She's like, I want to say 60 maybe. She wasn't even 60 yet, I don't think. And her daughter is like 30, a little over 30. And in my head, I'm like 60, the closer you get to 60, the younger that is. And I may not, if I'm not here, I want to know that you guys are all completely in sync. And I love being necessary. I love being a link. I do. But I don't want to be necessary. I mean, it's great to know that you're needed and you're loved and you can help keep things smooth. But I want it where you guys can talk to each other and it's like they know and like you're meeting them where they are and they're getting everything they can from you. So I think that it sounds like I'm asking you to do something for the kids, and it is for the kids, but it's for my peace of mind. And also, it would just make me feel like I want you to know that everything that you've done for you and I to grow and really, really like be more than we've ever been as far as friends and knowing each other inside and out, you've done amazing. And I'm not going to say your work here is done because I'm constantly a handful. And as I transition into my grown woman years, I'm getting to be a bit much. But I want you to know that we're okay. And you can, now it's time for you to be like, I see the husband as the house band. You're not just mine, you're theirs. And now it's time for you to like, pull everybody in. And I feel like you focus so much on you and I, and you definitely give them like you're engaged with them all the time and trying to figure out ways to connect and, keeping up with Day and her snake and Dallas and, his sports and asking him about his new interests and stuff. You stay online with that, but it's like you've been pushing really, really hard for us and I want you to know we're good. So now I want you to kind of expand it. And that would make me feel like we were really whole. So even though you tried to stop me with the initial one, like, I already know that I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, so you can't use it. There's so much more behind it that I want for you and I want for us. And I feel like in families, kids can be close to their parents, but it's always a balance. There's one parent that they're just like stuck to. And I don't want that with us. Like, they definitely look for you, but mortality is real to me at this point. And I want to know that if anything were to happen to me, you all would be as thick as thieves as I need you to be. Doesn't mean that I plan on going anywhere this year. But also, my cousin had 2 sisters that are extremely close, all 3 of them. And literally, their 2 sisters are like surrounding her daughter at this point. And my brothers are far away. And your sisters and your brother are not close by. So I want them to feel filled in every direction, like complete, not like, well, mom, this and this and this with mom. I want it to be like it's you and I for them, so that there's no beat that's missed. Laying people to rest is real. And it really made me reflect on our time in Florida and how we had a good time. We really did have a good time. But I think that one of my goals this year is for you three to be a completely different unit than you've ever really been. And I think part of that we've talked about this year is me getting out of the way. I think usually it's me getting out of the way of you in Dallas more than anything. But that's what I want for us and for you this year. My 90-minute answer.
No, I mean, it's necessary anyway. I don't think there's a father that wouldn't want that. Like, I guess when I look at it, like, I was just immature in the relationship. The person that you got now is the person you should have probably had in the beginning, where I could have learned to become a better father sooner. But yeah, I mean, I want it. I guess when I look at other families, I don't see that part what you're referring to. I see them as a whole. I might see like one and one, but not just like completely separated. When I work on that, I think I've been working on that though, but I'll put more of an effort. And I guess that was my thing with me was I need to probably balance a little more. I guess it was a sense of urgency for me to make sure that you knew that you didn't have to worry about our relationship. And I think I've heard it from you before where I've made you secure enough to know that we're legit. But I think I was just so caught up in making sure you knew. And I wouldn't say I put the kids on the back burner, but I think it was just easier for me to, because if you're happy, the household really will be happy. You and I, if I'm not doing my job with you and I'm being this father, like you would love me being the father, but you're not gonna like the husband part. So I think going it this way made it a lot easier for me to be able to transition into like try to focus on the relationship I have with him. And it almost sounds like I don't even live in a house.
He does. And that's why I kept saying, you really engage them. But it's like, so with Day, we found out that, did we talk about how Day got accepted?
I don't know.
So Day got accepted into her choice university, her first choice, and her program. And we wanted to celebrate, right? But we were getting ready to leave out of town. There was all kinds of stuff going on. And we were supposed to go celebrate for dinner. We put it off for a day. Then we put it off for another day. And then the last day of that week, I had an appointment. So I couldn't have dinner with everybody. And I was like, just go ahead and have dinner with them. Y'all go ahead. It's fine to do things without me, contrary to popular belief in the house sometimes. But it's okay to do stuff without me. And I think that that's where some of that stuff gets built up. And so they went to have dinner without me. And, I couldn't wait to hear how everything went. And it was like everybody had good stories, right? And so this past weekend when I was gone for my cousin, there was a question of, okay, are you going to go see your mom? Because his mom had called and was like, come see me before Christmas. And I was like, yeah, y'all go ahead and do whatever. Well, they ended up planning to do it after I got back. Like you were still kind of mulling over how you wanted to plan it out, schedule it. But in my head, I was like, they could just go down on Saturday while I'm gone, do your thing. While y'all are gone, I get back early. No, Saturday or Sunday, I'll get back and, do whatever. But they didn't go. I was just like, okay, well, I love that we always want to do everything together, but I think that there are things that y'all can do alone. And you have your own stories and your own things that you can enjoy together. So, yeah.
But I think those stories are created when something happens, like where you weren't able to go or I wasn't able to go. Like, not when everybody's available. You don't say this is the time where you're not going to be able to go. So, yeah, to me, I'm like we probably should have those moments when you're not here where it's more intentional or whatnot. But to do it when you're here is like it's kind of weird. Like to not do it together in my mind.
Well,
It's not
wasn't
like
here,
going
though.
to the store. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is you weren't here, but I'm saying like I was still figuring out if I wanted to really go
Yeah. Yeah.
at that time. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'll figure something out. But I definitely want to be more of I guess a hands-on father when they become adults. I don't know if my father was a hands-on father. We were just kind of like shooting this shit, I guess. I don't know if like I'm always trying to figure out what I can do to help him. I don't think my father was considering. He was like, you straight. So I'm just hoping that relationship develops where if you do pass, that they do have the comfort of knowing that they can talk to me. I don't know what that would look like if you passed or whatnot, but I would hope, I don't think we would become distant at all.
Yeah. No. I don't think that.
Yeah. But I know it has a lot to do with me trying to lead and be the example. It's just, I guess, mimicking you and what I think other parents should do.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but this year that I can definitely say I'll definitely focus on that for sure. I can do that.
Yeah, I like when they come back and they tell me about a memory or even just something funny that happened to you that they get to tell me. It's not something that I experienced while I was gone. Look, they definitely came back and told me some stories. It is just like random stuff, like the dishes thing with Day. Dallas was like, as soon as the conversation started, he got little. He got out of that room fast. It is like but he's laughing about it. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things that I like to know that.
So just to bring you guys up to speed, because I realized that she and I have conversations and we have all the background and you guys are in the dark. Well, we have a thing in our kitchen. If you cook, you don't have to clean the dishes or whatnot. But when you're done with the dishes, you're supposed to rinse them out and put them into the dishwasher. Well, apparently I have a habit of leaving dishes on top without looking into the dishwasher. And Day said, "Hey, Father, maybe next time you should if the dishwasher's not doesn't have clean dishes, you can put this in there." But the way that she was talking to me was like the way she talks to me, chastising me in my head. I'm being, I don't know, I'm not gonna tell you again. We've had this conversation more than 2 or 3 times, and to hear that they had this story in 2 different ways that I didn't even know about is crazy.
And to be clear, just like he said, in my head, I'm not going to tell you, I've already told, those are all, like we could say, hey, like he said in the beginning, if the dishwasher is, dirty, then you could put the dishes in there. And then it translates in his head, I done already told you this 2 or 3 times. Like,
that's the way they're talking to me. Like they're talking to me.
Literally, y'all, this is the craziest thing. And it may happen with a lot of people in a lot of situations. Y'all might be able to, relate. It's like if somebody's saying something to you, somehow between their mouth to your ear to your brain, it becomes more judgmental, more, the words become stronger. Like he described it to me last night where he was like, it's like you're telling me da 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 da. And he's using words that I've never used when I've spoken to him, because there's a certain level of respect you have to have when you're talking to people. You have to. And so when he was saying it, I was like, oh my God, that sounds horrible. I know I didn't use those exact words, but regardless of whether I use the words or not, in the end, that's how he felt with the words I said. And I was like, oh no. So in all of this, I'm like saying to him, I understand what you're saying. It's definitely not my intention, even if that was the impact I had. However I said it, I know how to use those words, but if it made you feel that way, that's not what I wanted. And I kept saying that to get back to the point of all we were saying was we wanted to add this new part into like a consistent practice with us of making sure that, yeah, even if you cook, you're not washing the pots and the pans and doing all that stuff. But when you finish your bowl, you put your bowl and your fork in the dishwasher. That's just it. But to him, it was like us correcting him. And it was really like, can we all do this thing?
No, just listening to you,
Oh, hi.
it was more so because if I say I want this things done and then nobody does it,
Yeah.
in my head, I was like, all right, it ain't no big deal. So I'm trying to figure out why this is a big deal, because the way that it's been spoken to me, it seems like, hey, the house could have caught on fire.
No, it's just crazy because he'll like finish dinner and we're like putting the dishes in and he'll put his dish on the counter. And granted, somebody is standing in front of the dishwasher because we're putting our dish in, but he'll put his in the counter and he'll leave. But it's not like anything is going to set fire. It's just
The way that you guys are saying it makes me feel. Look, check this out. I don't want a conflict.
I know.
But it seems like when I describe it, it's still like, well, you hearing it wrong.
No, it's not that. And that's why I said it is not my intention.
Oh no, I believe that.
Yeah, when I say it like that. However, in the end, it was never meant to make you feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so in that conversation, Dallas be trying to get little. He wants to get out of the room because he don't want to be a part of it. And what's so funny is they both told me this story. And then when they wanted to bring it up at dinner last night so that Jock hear what they were thinking about, Dallas was like, wait. He was like, wait, don't talk about it yet. He's doing all this stuff in the kitchen. He was finishing up cleaning his stuff up so he could get out before the conversation really got going. And I was like, this is so crazy. But those are the things that go on sometimes. So yeah, we do have like backstories and I don't always say it. But so it was just something just that simple. But I enjoyed coming back and like they separately came to me to tell me this story and I'm just like cracking up. But before they came back up, it brought up a lot of things of like, John had valid things. He was like, there are things that I told y'all I want you to do. And if I've told you a couple times and you haven't done it, then I'll be like, forget it. I'll just do it.
Well, because I know that like it's just like if I say it in a certain way, it probably won't ever get done. So then I was like, is it even worth the battle?
Right.
So I was just like, you know what? We're just going to practice bad habits outside of it. But I don't want to seem like I was doing this because it is.
It wasn't on purpose.
It was not.
But trust me when I say, as soon as we talked about it, my brother pulled out his little steno pad. It was like, I would like to bring to the table.
Because if I could move on, why?
Y'all made me mad here. And I was like, I get it. And I was like, that's true. We need to work on that. But I'm saying like right now, we're just saying, could you put your bowl in the dishwasher? He was like, but when I said, it was like, okay. But either way it goes.
Yeah.
In the end, I'm telling you, when they were describing it to me, it was so funny.
I know, I could only imagine.
But anyway, it was a good time.
For sure. Anybody want to give a shout out before we get out of here?
I want to give a shout out to my cousin Jerrica. Probably the strongest young woman I've ever in my life seen be able to do what she did this weekend. She laid her mother to rest, her very, very best friend. And she was her mom's best friend. And she did it with such grace. And there were definitely tears. But when I say she spoke of her mom in a way that everybody wishes they have a relationship with their mom like that, she spoke in a way that made me look at my mom and just like, it was beautiful. And then the homegoing celebration, I've never been to one like it. She played her mom's playlist. And we listened to Tupac and New Edition and Prince. And we danced. I've never danced at a homegoing and enjoyed myself with my family or anybody. I've never seen it in my life. So I want to give a shout out to Jerrica because she, all by herself, her mom couldn't be more proud of her. So great job, Jerrica.
Shout out to you, Jerrica, and everybody that was impacted by the spirit of your mother. I want to give a shout out to any and everybody who stand up and watching us. We do appreciate your loyalty, and hopefully we're dropping some seeds or some nuggets for you to take back and share in your life. Y'all make today better than yesterday. Don't worry about anything you can't control. GATA. Get after that action, or that action will get after you. Be great on purpose.